Okay, well, good Monday evening, New York Jets fans and NFL fans. It is September 16, 2023, 6:07 p.m. I had to just look at my watch. And this is the takeoff. My name is Alex, and let's talk about yesterday's win where the Jets get to 1-1 after going down to Tennessee, beating the Tennessee Titans 24-17, and have to bounce back on a quick week because their home opener is less than, or I should say, about 74 hours. At MetLife versus the New England Patriots. So let's get it started. First up, talk about the Jet defense. Jet defense, first of all, big loss. Jermaine Johnson done for the season with an Achilles injury. I believe it's an Achilles tear. So he is done for the season. Another injury, Mosley. They say it's a toe injury. He did not finish the game yesterday. I believe he got injured in the late in the second quarter, if not early third quarter. So he didn't play most of the second half. DJ Reed didn't play at all yesterday. Hopefully he gets back here for this Thursday. And the defense. The defense is supposed to be the backbone of this team. Listen, the talk the last 2 years were defense keeps these opponents 17 points or less. The Jet offense can control the game. Jets can win. Now, yes, that proved true yesterday. Jets held them to 17 points. Jets win 24-17. But early on, you're playing a Tennessee Titans team who defense was popping yesterday. I'm not going to lie. The defense was popping. Their offense is not that great. Their quarterback Levis last week, just to give you a little background, had a 17-0 lead over the Chicago Bears in Chicago. And then Levis kind of broke down in the second half. One of the biggest plays I saw one of the biggest errors in plays that he did was when he was under pressure and tossed the ball, almost like pushed it forward, shoveled it forward to a Chicago defender who ran it in for a touchdown. They wound up losing that game. Yesterday, with the Tennessee Titans, I think up 7-0, or maybe it's 7-7 at this point. I think it's 7-0. They're moving the ball again. They're running the ball, and they had about 126 yards on the ground, between 5 different people running the ball, mainly their back. But, Levis, whatever the hell his name is, I'm calling him Levi's, had a big run as well. Is moving the ball. They get into field goal range, at least in field goal range. On third down, you're hoping that the Jets can get off the field and just force him to kick a field goal, put 3 points on the board. They get to him, and he, again, turns. So instead of taking a sack, which would have still kept him inside of a makeable field goal, a reasonable field goal range, he, again, tosses the ball behind him now to one of his running backs or a wide receiver. The ball kind of skips, and Jet defenders pounce on it, and the Jets take the ball over, on the 30-something yard line. And they turned that drive into points. So, say, okay, the kid made a mistake. He gets to the sideline, and his coaches are just erupting on him because he made the same mistake last week. So that's 2 weeks in a row. This turns around not only that drive, but it turns around basically the game at that point. Because Tennessee was moving the ball, and the Jets really weren't. The Jets get the ball, and they start moving the ball down the field, and the first few drives, they look vanilla. Some drop passes, some stuff on Hall when he's trying to run, on Allen. But then they start mixing it up a little bit. And then you have, I can't even think of the name. Rodgers making some passes. They get the ball down the field. And this is where I say Rodgers is the wild card. And you take away Rodgers' arm and accuracy, okay? Because that's what you want in a quarterback, first of all. But then you add in his experience, his leadership, and his control of the huddle, which we're going to get into a little bit also, and the drive. And, so they're moving the ball, and they're respecting the run, or I should say expecting to run, because the first few drives are runs. But they also have to respect Rodgers throwing a pass. And basically, they do a split back set, which I haven't seen in 100 years. And he does a fake or a play action to Breece Hall to his right. He then turns his body towards his left and Allen is about maybe 4 yards past the line of scrimmage. He tosses him this light little pass, and then Allen does the rest. He goes in from about 16 yards out. He dives in for those last 3 yards to make sure he breaks the plane, and the Jets get a touchdown. My cousin Mikey texts me, that was a vulture move because that should have been Breece Hall's touchdown. But you know what? I think Mikey has him in the fantasy league, but touchdown. The play call, the way Rodgers sold it was great. Those are the positives I see with Rodgers, and I'll get into a little bit more. Some of the negatives yesterday was, first of all, on offense. There were times where the run couldn't get it going, and they tried to stick with a run. And I understand they're trying to give Rodgers, maybe not as many dropbacks or passing plays as he would have if he was not injured last year. I get that. But on 3rd and 1, running up the middle is just not an option. And they did that a few times. But Hackett did go into some of his bag of tricks. I don't know if Rodgers implemented these or not, but he did do a reverse with Garrett Wilson, where Wilson, in all honesty, should have been dead to rights about 6-7 yards back, and he turned it into like a 9-yard gain. So he turned a -6 into a +9. Another, what I saw as a negative yesterday was 3 times the offense had to call timeout, or else it would have been a delay of game. Now, Rodgers said it was on him. They're going to clean that up. It could be that the flow, they're not used to it. They're not used to playing with each other. I get it. Second full game that they played together. At one point, I was screaming because I really thought they were going to take the delay of game. And I thought Saleh had missed a timeout, but I think Saleh called it once and Rodgers called it twice. And twice it was in the second half. And at one point, they were down. And I kept saying, if they need those timeouts at the end of the game, we may be in trouble here. But thankfully, it didn't come back to haunt us. So the offense put up 3 touchdowns. Allen put up 2. So he had that one reception from Rodgers. And my daughter said, can you imagine your first NFL touchdown? And I said, yeah, can you imagine you catch it from Aaron Rodgers? He'll always remember that. And then you had Breece Hall, who, again, I like this formation. They line him up as a wide receiver. And he is up against a linebacker. And he said it in the post game. Put me up against a linebacker, I'm going to beat him down the sideline. Just throw the ball up. And Rodgers did from like 22 or 26 yards out. Beautiful over-the-shoulder, front right corner of the end zone, into the end zone. Hall just put his arms up and caught it and hauled it in. And then you had, again, the Jets give up a touchdown. And listen, this was all, and I give this to the quarterback, and I give this to the wide receiver. Levis throws into double coverage. So you have Sauce back there, and I don't know who else was back there. I thought the ball was picked off. My buddy George thought the ball was picked off. And it turns out that the wide receiver came down with it in the end zone. I mean, even on the replay, I'm like, that ball had to come out when he turned over, but it didn't. And, it gave them the lead at that point, 17-10. So that was when I was like, all right, now we see what this team is made of. Now we see how we make these play calls. Now we see if they trust Rodgers, to make some plays. And they did. So at 17-17, the Jets get the ball, and it's about 5.5 minutes left on the clock. And you're almost saying, all right, you want the clock to work, you want the clock to move, but you want 7 here. And listen, Jet fans, in the past, whether it was Herm Edwards, whether it was Rex Ryan, whether it was, what's his name? I can't even think of his name, from, before Pete Carroll. You with 5.5 minutes left and you tied, you played for the 3 points, and you were going to put it on your defense. They can't. When you have Aaron Rodgers, you play for the 7. And on this drive, Rodgers makes a pass that's just beautiful. A beautiful pass to Garrett Wilson where, first of all, I don't think any quarterback that the Jets had in the last 15 to 20 years, I'll go back to Chad Pennington, would have had the trust in their wide receiver and the ability to place this ball here. But basically, Garrett Wilson's one-on-one with the defender going up the right sideline. Rodgers puts it up. Wilson's actually looking to his right. He turns his body all the way to the left, and goes up and snatches this ball and comes down with it with a huge first down. And that's where they were in field goal range, and that's when they had to take the other time out, or else it would have been delay a game. But then after that, they, proceed. They may going to go a little cautious maybe, but they again give the ball to Allen, and on beautiful blocking, Allen just rips right through the line, and he goes down the sidelines and he scores. And now it's all on the defense. And my buddy Jimmy texts me, defense. And I'm like, yes, we got to do this now. Defense needs to step up. And they made it interesting, to say the least. It came down to fourth down. It came down to 13, 14 seconds left. A fourth and goal. Just previous to that, to get the first and goal, they basically had the quarterback tied up, and he broke out and picked up a huge chunk of yards and set him up for first and goal. And on fourth down, listen, the play was drawn up beautifully. I don't know if he would have scored, but they caught him kind of going on an angle. He had the ball. He bobbled a little bit. He looked like he had possession for a moment. There were two Jet defenders behind him, maybe on the 2-yard line. So I don't know if he gets in or if he gets around them, but he winds up dropping the pass, and the Jets live to go to victory formation, and Aaron Rodgers takes the knee. So, some positives, Jets go to 1-1. Okay, they have a short week, home opener against New England. Again, this is not the same rivalry that it's been, but you know what? New England lost yesterday, so they're 1-1. So this is huge right now. Secondly, the Jet offense, 3 touchdowns, 2 in the air, 1 on the ground. So that's huge. As a Jet fan, 3 touchdowns, 3 offensive touchdowns is good right now. 2 in the air. Yeah, Zach Wilson used to put up some of those numbers, but the way they scored them was not the way, Wilson would have. So it's a different feel about this. Jet defense had 2 takeaways, had a few sacks. And let's see what else. The defense did when they had to make the stops. Now, early on in the game, I said it was not pretty. It looked like Zach Wilson was under center the way they were calling plays. It looked like they were very conservative at one point. And then it started opening up again. I don't know if I'm giving Aaron Rodgers too much credit. Did he go to the sidelines and tell Hackett, hey, let's run this? Did Hackett make the adjustment? I don't know. Okay, so now let's look at the negatives. First one, and we'll talk on defense. A tremendous loss. Jermaine Johnson done for the season. Torn Achilles. So he's done. Second injury is to C.J. Mosley. They first said it was a foot injury or an ankle injury. It turned out to be his toe. He did not return. I don't think he played any of the second half. Or if he did, he was injured very early in the third quarter. Hopefully he can rebound for Thursday. DJ Reed didn't play because of an injury. Hopefully he's back for Thursday. The run defense early on was, again, abysmal. They racked up some yards early. They picked up some first downs. Again, I think if they had back there 26 out of the 32 other quarterbacks in the league, or 31 because you're not going to count Rodgers, they make this game even closer. Maybe they just have to come back to take the lead. Maybe up to, late like they did, not with 5.5 left. Hey, you play who you play. Like last year when they played, Zach Wilson or Tim Boyle or whatever, you play who you play. The other part on defense is roughing the passer, illegal hand to the face. They got to clean that up. They have to clean that up quick, and now's the time to do it. I'm not going to say that the schedule is easy, but this is where they are games that they should outplay their opponents. The game plan, I think, was finally adjusted. The offense adjusted. I think the defense adjusted when they needed to. So I give some kudos to Saleh because I need him to prove to me that he can do this, because right now he is the weakest link. And that's it. And what I saw yesterday was we have two backs. You know, Izzy didn't play, the young man out of Brooklyn, but we have two backs that could play. Hall got a little dinged up, and when Allen was called upon to play, he did well. Again, he had the big winning touchdown with about 5:32 left. You know, like I said, he broke to the right, went right to the line, didn't stop. He has the speed, so that's a bonus. Lazard made some catches yesterday. Garrett Wilson. You know, there was even a pass, and forgive me because I can't remember his name. We got him in a trade. The wide receiver's coming off an injury, so he's on a snap count. I think he played 9 snaps last week, but yesterday, Rodgers had enough trust in him, the veteran wide receiver, left sideline, threw it up there. He went up, made a play for it, got his 2 big paws on it, and came down with it. So they are moving forward. The team is starting to, on offense, I think, get a little bit into a rhythm. Again, those delay of game plays that they take timeouts on, that can't be. Because like I said, against a better opponent or better quarterback, those timeouts come back to haunt you. So that has to be cleaned up, and that is on the quarterback, and that's on the offense and the huddle, and maybe it's on the coaches getting the plays in quicker. At one point I said, you know, Manning used to call his own plays, Namath used to call his own plays, and I know you're talking 50-something years ago. Namath. Why not Rodgers call his own plays? Why, you know, have Hackett there as just as a consultant. Still call me offensive coordinator, but why can't Rodgers call his own plays? But you know what? Take the win. The Jets eclipsed 100 yards on the ground by committee. I think Hall had 60-something. Allen had over 30, I believe. He had Rodgers with a few, and you had Garrett Wilson picking up 5. Listen, Rodgers wasn't spectacular. I think he completed 18 passes for, or 17 I forgot what it was, for less than 200 yards, but 2 touchdowns, no INTs, a 98.1 or 98.7 QBR rating. And I'll take that. And now they have 3 days, you know, about 76 hours from now or 74 hours from now, home opener. I could imagine the pregame show and all the hoopla, and then they get down to business and they get to face an AFC East team that's 1-1 in the Patriots. Probably a team that should have won last week. They could probably be 2-0. But this defense should beat Jacoby Brissett. This offense should beat Mayo's defense or the team. You know, Mayo's the head coach. And the Jets should win this game. And I'll do a quick video probably late Wednesday or early Thursday. I'm going to say that dog's a Giant fan. To just go over my predictions. But I'm predicting a Jet win on Thursday. I'm going to say that right now. But they're 1-1. They got an AFC win. Okay. And everybody said, you know, listen to the radio, if you're going to lose one of the first 2 games, you want to lose on the road in San Fran. You know, you don't want to lose to a Tennessee team, you know, that's in the AFC. You don't want to lose a home game, a home opener against the Patriots. So they did what they needed to do. It was not pretty. It was ugly at times, very vanilla at times, but they made the plays when they needed to. And what I like is, you know, I always said this, and my buddy George always said this too. When Sanchez would get rattled, he put his head down between his knees. Donald, he was seeing ghosts, if everybody remembers that Monday night disaster. Zach Wilson, his mother would chime in. You know, I mean, it was just, you know, just a shit show. And, you know, you talk about, first of all, Sanchez went to 2 AFC championship games. So for Rodgers to show displeasure, for Rodgers to show that he's pissed, for Rodgers to show a positive or a thumbs up means more, because I know he is the pulse of this team and he's leading this team and they're feeding off of him. And the more he trusts them, the more they'll trust him. You know, I think last year was a lot of, and Salah was the biggest person that did this. You know, oh my God, you see Rodgers make that play. You can't be in awe of your quarterback, okay? You have to be, hey, I'm part of the team with him. When he makes a play, I'm part of that play. And take it from there, yes. Yesterday, Allen's first touchdown, he got his first touchdown pass from Aaron Rodgers. That will forever, no matter who the touchdown pass was from, he would save that game ball or that ball and basically, remember that. To say it comes from Aaron Rodgers, who eventually will be in the Hall of Fame, just makes it a lot better. Just makes it more special. So, once again, we are to take off. I'm almost at the end of my walk. Enjoy it. I really thought today we would have heard some Hassan Reddick news. There's been nothing on Twitter since I last checked a couple hours ago. The thing is, even if he reports or they come to an agreement, you don't know if he's playing Thursday. You don't know that. So I'm guessing we're going to go into Thursday without him. Will McDonald IV, 3 tackles, 3 sacks, I believe. He had 3 all last year. Some QB pressures as well. He played a hell of a game. He has to step up and continue. He wears 99, so he's got to continue to play like 99 back in the day, who right now is on the list to be in the Hall of Fame. They didn't vote it in yet, but I believe he's on the list. And that's it. So we'll see if any news comes up prior to the game on Thursday. I really don't think Hassan Reddick will play. I mean, can Woody want the theatrics that after the fireworks and the light show when they do the starting lineup, and I really think they can do the starting lineup of the offense to announce Rodgers again, but they announced Riddick coming out of the tunnel. I mean, that would be right up Woody Johnson's alley. But anyway, I'm going to end it here. Jets win. They're 1-1. They are 1-0 in the division. And they go to week 2. They start off the week this week. Tonight's game really has no bearing on us. It's the Falcons and the Eagles, 2 AFC teams, the Battle of the Birds. But let's see what happens, and let's see if there's any news on replacing our injured defensive player and Jermaine Johnson, and if Riddick signs. Once again, we ought to take off. Listen, email us, thejetstakeoff@gmail.com. Twitter, @thejetstakeoff, and of course on YouTube, where you can subscribe to this video, and every video I do, you'll get alerted. The Takeoff is the YouTube account, the Jets Takeoff, or @the Jets Takeoff is the YouTube channel. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll speak on Thursday. Have a blessed week, whatever you say, and let's go.